weekend show only on Signature TV, a show where we promise to keep you inspired and informed through expert interviews and quality content. Don't forget, today is Saturday, the 23rd day of August 2025. I am Chigi Chiagorom, your host, and you can be a part of today's conversation by joining us online on social media, on YouTube, on Facebook at Signature TV Official. Like, comment, share, and of course subscribe. We are also live 247 on SLTV Channel 265, and you can download the Signature TV app from your Google Play Store so you can keep abreast of new content as they drop. Well, don't go anywhere and don't touch that dial. New Day continues after now with newspaper headlines and review. And if you're just joining us, welcome to New Day on Signature TV. And of course, welcome to the segment on newspaper headlines. First up, Saturday Vanguard. On politics, PDP crisis. Combatants strategize for Monday's make or mar neck. With rider Wike marking days camps divided on zoning on page 6. Just above the Saturday Vanguard mast, Alaafin versus Oni, stop inciting traditional rulers against one another. Chief Ilaimi Elebubon counsels Yoruba sons and daughters, page 5. On Delta 2027, Oborowori Omoagege flex muscles on page 11. On Home Affairs, the side chick republic, Nigeria's open secret. On paternity fraud, when betrayal wears a child's face. The reunion temptation when nostalgia becomes a trap. Page 14. Still on Saturday Vanguard, ahead of 2027, ABC, a grand deception coming from Dati Ahmed. Those who win Nigeria between 2015 and 2023 cannot come now under a new platform and claim they want to fix Nigeria. Page 29. On electoral malpractice, we fear the worst in 2027 coming from Nigerians, with rider urge INEC to avert danger by electronically transmitting results from polling units, page 9. On Katsina massacre, the dawn that bled. We were in the second Rakau when gunfire went up and even the air exploded, page 26. And on health, breakthrough discovery offers hope for reversing brain aging. And cheap blood pressure drug fights deadly breast cancer, page 25. And finally, on Saturday Vanguard, Kanu Ipeba, other ex-football stars honor Olu of Warri in anniversary celebrations, pictures on page 5. Over to the Guardian Weekend, above the mast. On news feature, page 4, Black Survival. Have Africans learned any lessons from Japan's nuclear bombing? On interview, page 5, Muhammad Hamouri. Eliminating occupation remains lasting solution to Israel-Palestine conflict. Below the Guardian Weekend mast, the house cocoa farmers built 6 decades after, pages 8 and 9. In other news, July Federation revenue down by 415 billion naira as federal government and state and local governments share 2 trillion naira. Tinubu's diplomacy, RTICAD9 silences cynics, says Bagudu, with riders as Japan designates city Kisaranzwa hometown for Nigerians. Nigeria's satellite broadband facility underutilized as 93% capacity remains idle on page 3. Still on Guardian Weekend, CDS didn't call on citizens to bear arms. Defense Headquarters clarifies, page 35. Still on other news, NEL Fund reviews upkeep payments, switches to per session disbursement. On TICAD 9, when will Mr. President nominate Nigerian ambassadors? Inside stuff. Back page. Next up, Saturday Punch. On entertainment, I took inspiration from sex workers to kill a monkey role coming from Sunshine Rossman. Concerns mount over 25% paternity fraud report on page 4 with riders. Fathers share mixed feelings on DNA tests. On UTME, how we breach CBT centers servers for candidates, according to hackers, page 4. With riders, compromised operators behind exam fraud, says mercenaries and proprietors association reject generalization. Alaafin versus Oni, monarchs under spell, say traditionalists, on page 8. Still on Saturday Punch, I'm scared to return to my duty post, according to Anambra Corps member stripped naked by vigilante, page 23. And finally, on Saturday Punch, presidency backs EFCC on Atiku's son-in-law hunt. Next, Saturday Tribune. Above the mast, APC dismisses ADC as mere distraction, on page 6. And on school feeding, we target 20 million pupils according to federal government, on page 4. There's also a call for nominations as Obafemi Awolowo cries for leadership 2025 opens. Below the Saturday Tribune mast, if politicians jack up their pay, workers, pensioners will demand living wages, coming from Southwest pensioners, on page 8. With rider, say unions won't take 250,000 naira as minimum wage. Federal government vows to hunt down killers of Katsina Muslim worshippers, page 4. I didn't ask Nigerians to carry arms in self-defense, coming from CDS, page 4. I am ready to take her back, although she's pregnant for another man, coming from husband, pages 12 and 21. Still on Saturday Tribune, my wife got our first child to beat me up, according to man. That was the easiest way I made him pay our children's fees, coming from wife. And finally, on Saturday Tribune, Kano sets up committee to record 10 million voters for 2027, page 4. Next up, Blueprint Weekend. Boldly written in front of the National Daily on subsidy removal windfalls. Governors squandering once in a generation opportunity. Nigerians lament. With riders, gains haven't translated into better roads, functioning clinics, others in states. Many governors lavish public funds on fleets of luxury SUVs, needless travels, economist says. Funds should be invested in education, healthcare, and job creation, according to NGO, pages 8 and 9. And state assemblies must wake up to their responsibilities, coming from Yakubu. In other news, you've had your time. Allow the South to produce president in 2027, Kachuku tells Atiku, on pages 14 and 15. Federal government, state, local governments shared 2 trillion naira in July 2024. I beg your pardon, in July 2025, according to FAC, page 25. poor governance, poverty, fueling extremism in Northwest and others, according to experts, on page 7. And finally, on Blueprint Weekend, echoes and reminiscences of Oshun Oshobo Fiesta, pages 17 to 20. I'll take that again. Echoes and reminiscences of Oshun Oshobo Fiesta, page 17 to 20. Next, weekend trusts. While we declared Atiku's son-in-law wanted, according to EFCC on page 30. 4 Benue lawmakers suspended over plots to impeach Speaker, page 34. From Iowa to Lagos, a journey of Northern Enterprise, page 15. By-elections heighten fears for 2027, page 4. And finally, on the weekend trust, rice mills collapsing, page 11. Next up, Daily Independent above the mast. Industries shutting down due to epileptic power supply, coming from ECN. Tinubu seeks 2 seats for Africa at UN Security Council, with rivals loads Nigerian military for teaming in security. And Japanese Prime Minister pledges $5.5 billion support for Africa. Below the Daily Independent mast, suspend planned pay raise for political office holders, according to ABC, and says it's an affront against struggling Nigerians. Still on Daily Independent, Nigeria at TICAD9 summits for strategic engagements and not trade expos, coming from Presidency, page 6. Makinde Oko's Ladoja's nomination as 44th Olubadan, which riders picks September 26 as Coronation Day, page 6. On Zamfara by-election, PDP raises the alarm over plots to subvert people's will. Ojulari hints on revamping ailing refineries. Bengason decries continuous gas flaring, page 7. On violations, federal government shuts down over 13 million social media accounts. And finally, on Daily Independent, PDP to Wike, you were duly invited for NEC meeting, on page 6. Saturday Times, above the mast, federal government vows to hunt down killers of Katsina worshippers, page 2. Defense headquarters announces arrest of wanted bandits, May Pangshin, page 4. NNPCL, NLNG seal gas deals with 6 suppliers for Bonny plant, page 2. On entertainment, Funke Akindele's Electoral town takes a short break, page 9. Indigenous arms production key to Nigeria's security, Tinubu says, page 6. Support government that brings development, Wike tells FCT residents, page 5. And Japan names Kisarazu official hometown for Nigerians, page 2. Federal government, states, local government share 2 trillion July revenue as oil receipts boost FAAC, page 10. Finally, on Saturday Times, Peter Rufai, Taribo West, and Nigeria's Forgotten Heroes, page 15. And that's the much we can take on today's newspaper headlines. Over to newspaper review with our in-house analyst, Chris, the Oracle Madoka, available to do justice to that. Welcome, Chris, and good morning. Good to have you here.
Good morning, Chigi. I hope I will do justice,
yes,
as you said.
You always do. You always
I'll
do.
try my best. Welcome, everybody. It's another day, a new day on Signature TV. Glory be to God for His mercy and guidance and protection. So, it pleases Him that we shall all come out again today. So let us go. Fire the fire chicken.
All right. We're looking at, would you like politics or entertainment?
Let's start from anywhere.
So let's look at Saturday Tribune. Nigerians are enraged, pensioners are enraged, unionists are enraged. If politicians jack up their pay, workers, pensioners will demand living wages. What say you?
If politicians jack up their pay, workers and pensioners
will demand living wages.
Southwest pensioners says union won't take 250,000 as minimum wage.
Question is, what's the rationale behind politicians trying to jack up their pay in times like this?
Political office holders, because politicians, nobody fixes their pay. They are all in all. It's those ones that they have employed. We're talking about people who are appointed in positions as ministers, commissioners, SAs, SSAs, all those kind of things. Nomenclatures will just create political, what do you call it, pipeline for assuaging people who have helped anybody got to power. And sure, in some states you have where you said over 2,000 people have been appointed as SA to the governor. That means they are political office holders and that kind of thing. And this is insensitive. I've said it several times. I continue to say it, even before they even thought about jacking up their pay. Now, the level of insensitivity has reached the peak at this level of Nigeria. And they were bold to say, even as a yesterday review, they were saying one body that is in charge of this, they say RMAF, I don't know what they mean in full, insist on review, going ahead to plan, meet, and talk about this hike in the jack up of their pay, of the pay of the political workers.
Mm.
And what we demand that the workers really come together as one this time, because there has been divide and rule tactics for workers. Before you know it, that's how they created TUC, NLC, and they keep weakening the, who knows what they will create next. But if all of them come together and know they have one common enemy, then they'll start having powerful words that make meaning. Because these days it's like, when used to be days when NLC talk, when they cough, the government will catch cold. I don't know whether it's still the same, but a lot are continua.
Victory asata, yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so but I was thinking, is this some kind of a gimmick or propaganda by opposition to, bring some kind of issues, with ruling party?
But it's not the oppositions do not have power to jack up.
I'm saying maybe it's false. It's
not.
Be
it's
propaganda.
Not. This is serious, and this is the kind of thing that they want Nigerians to start thinking about, and we won't give thought to it. We'll have distraction, and they will go ahead and perpetuate this. And what we're saying, if people are working and they require their salaries to be jacked, nobody is against that. You say it's wrong timed. This is not the time. And if you want to do it, make sure that we talk about the equity and the quality and things that go with it. What is good for the geese is good for the gander.
Yeah.
The workers, if you don't take care of them, there's a hike in price tariff everywhere. You are jacking. You're already on jacked up salary, and you are not looking the way of. So states have not paid 70,000 minimum wage. The promises, those kind of promises, they tell women on top of the bed. They are looking for somebody. You remember when they made that promise? Somebody was waiting for the alert and he died. They say he had a heart attack, died because when he waited for the alert of 70,000 and he didn't come, the same old salary came when he would have gone to borrow money and done. I think that person must be working with civil defense or something. And the man died, and it was like, ow. But that's the kind of thing. Now somebody will be there. He said the people working in National Assembly, they said earns 29 million every month, and then an ordinary worker, a professor, I don't know how much they earn. So, but then no professor, when you break 29 million in a month, you remove what is supposed to be the salary, then allowances. No professor is earning that much. Whatever is the salary, and then pad it up with allowances. Because in Nigeria, we do a lot of padding. So, God bless Nigeria. Let's move on.
All right, let's check Saturday Tribune. I'm sure this is something that you want to talk about. My wife got our first child to beat me up, man says. And wife is saying that was the only way to get him to pay the children's school fees.
Well, that's using pepper to cure madness.
Honestly.
Nobody prays for that kind of thing. But you know, in a situation that is Nigeria now, there's nothing that has now happened. I read yesterday in the paper, it said in Lagos State, the percentage of men that have been beaten by their wife has risen by 80%. And that means, these are the ones reported, the ones that have.
So women are getting stronger by the day.
Women, I don't know what you guys are eating these days to develop muscles to
jack up our strength.
Yeah, you jack up your strength like the salary of the political workers. But then you should use your strength in a better way. Because when we have the strength, we didn't kill all the women. In as much as we have bad eggs among men that beat their wife. But it doesn't mean that when women eventually get power, they should retaliate 100%. Because they should look at it, you know. My wife got my first child to beat me up. That is insensitive. That is telling us as we are talking, people might take it as a joke, but this is what the situation in Nigeria has created in families. Is it good for the man that he couldn't pay school fees of children he brought to the life? So he should be pitied instead of being beaten up. And the wife that is beating the man up, if you ask my mother, I will say, did the tortoise bite her hands? Can she make money? These days we are talking about equity and equality and gender and social inclusion. Women are given opportunity to make money. Let her also go into the street, make money, give to the children, and use the women, use your politics. Tell the children, your father is useless, I paid your school fee, then take the credit. Instead of beating the man, when he was paying the fees, you didn't remember. Now he couldn't pay, you are beating him up. Well, God bless the child who beat his father up, because we take it like a joke. The blessing of a father. If it's the same, he says, may your children also beat you up when you cannot pay their school fees. And it will be perpetual. Nobody, no pastor, no imam can change such course coming from a father. Especially if the father is sincerely know that he has tried his best to keep the family, and at the point, if he had a hiccup in a source of income, everybody should understand it. This sounds familiar in Nigeria of today. But the men, the children and the women should take it easy. I think it's the high time men start thinking about leaving the families for their wives. When it comes to this, it's a quit.
Is that your advice?
If it's a woman that is suffering gender violence, it's a quit. So what will the man do? Commit suicide? He should also find a way to quit.
Should we quote you on that? Should we quote you on that when the time comes?
Well,
Chris the Oracle Maduka
aggregate all the
Chris the Oracle Maduka's advices.
There must be a way out of everything. Listen. My father said, anything that will chop my head, let it carry my cap.
Okay.
So it's not like it's but if a push comes to shove, let the man leave the house for them. And then when a woman marries two husbands, he will now reflect on which one is better. Because that generation or a group of people they always see people who take care of them, and they're looking young every time. They say, we don't get old. That's the meaning of the proverb of the bonus side. So for that woman who has been enjoying life, it's high time you will know how to abase and how to abound. And it sounds familiar. Is it Paul? Paul said in the Bible, I know how to abase and I know how to abound. If the women and the children of this generation don't know that, they should go and ask Tinubu, who is the president of Nigeria, and all the people in position of authority to change Nigeria's situation so that we don't beat our fathers to pay our school fees.
All right, moving on. Weekend Trust. Atiku's son-in-law is in the news as EFCC has actually declared him wanted.
It sounds familiar. Let it not be what we are thinking, and what we don't want to jump into this.
You know, the last time we talked about using anti-graft agencies against opposition.
It coming up at this time where if you think you are powerful, let's also use this. If it's what we are thinking and it's going that way, it's a dangerous precedent, and it won't do anybody any good, because what it means is once you're in power, you now dispose and dispense and dispose things, and that shows that everybody will waiting for their turn. So, and it sounded familiar of turning, the turn thing. I want local and be local, but let it be that justice, is given at all times, are shown and exhibited. Let it not be that because they are political opponents and they are being haunted, because Jesus in his classical judgment said, if you have not done what this woman did, he bent down, he was writing on the ground, when he raised his face, all of them has vanished. So whatever is in the house of lizard might also be in the house of rat. So let's handle ourselves with that, that no one is an angel.
All right, so in 2 minutes, let's talk about Kachuku is telling Atiku, you've had your time, allow South to produce president in 2027.
Well, Kachuku is blowing hot and cold. Sometime in the past, it was just against the opposition.
Yeah.
Let it leave the opposition, let them sort themselves out. Whatever the group which Atiku has joined are talking about, and sure, they won't want to make the same mistake that the other party did, as learners, blacksmithers that were trying to mold the metal gong. If they don't know how to do it, they should look at the tail of a kite. Because if they try and spoil their chances like PDP did, then something, they'll go the same way. So I don't think they want to go that way. Atiku, Mark, all the important people in ADC that are talking to Amechi, they know what they want. And I'm sure nobody should take them for granted and neglect them. They know where they're going. That's why everybody is feeling insecure, because they know them start. That's what I feel. They will eventually sort things out. But if they make the mistake, it goes the same way, and then the status quo and continue.
All right, thank you so much, Chris. God bless you. And as usual, God bless Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria. God bless all the people who have watched and listened, for those who deserve to be blessed.
Great. Don't go anywhere. New Day continues right after this break. Just stay with us.